What's up, Bears fans? Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today as we get you ready for Bears Cowboys Week 3 on Sunday. A lot to get into, including the latest injury updates. Matt Eberflus spoke to the media today. Have a quick reaction on that. We'll take your questions and discuss a lot more, including how Caleb Williams is already showing growth and improvement in Ben Johnson's offense. So we'll get to all of that. Shout out your city. Let us know where you guys are watching from. We'll give a few shout outs here. Producer Cullen is on the ones and twos. He's fixing a couple things behind the scenes here. Then he'll be ready to go. We got Troy saying, screw the Flus. Flush the Flus from Tony. Tony. We got Brian in Stockton, California. Engler Patton, Minnesota. Bill Carson in Johnston, Iowa. Doug in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We've got Touchdown Cards in Quincy, Illinois. Dallas, Texas is where Kirk is watching. We got Clumsy in Madison, Wisconsin. Jeeping in Phoenix. Tim in Elmhurst, Illinois. Edinburgh, Texas from Jamie. Hot Atlanta from Roy. Fire Ryan Poles in the chat. I don't think they're going to do that 2 weeks into the season, but I hear you. Believe me, I hear you. All right, Cullen is in the building. We are ready to roll.
Eventually, we got it there.
Yeah, we got there. A lot of things going on.
What up, Bears fans? How are we feeling? Honestly, listen, we're still looking positive. I'm looking at the chat of who you got. Bears still favorites, 76, 24%. It's a little higher than normal for the opposition, but overall, still got faith in the base.
Listen, you win this week. I mean, the schedule coming up, like, I'm not trying to go all, over the top optimistic, but you win this week, at Raiders next week. Real chance to win that game as well. Bye week, at Commanders Monday Night Football after the bye week. They haven't looked quite as good this year.
Right.
Saints at home. At Baltimore's hard, but then at Cincinnati, no Joe Burrow. Giants at home. At Minnesota, a team you should have beat the first time. Pittsburgh at home. Like, this isn't murderer's row all of a sudden. Like, if you could somehow, some way win these two games, the season is back on. So
it starts with one.
To get to two, you got to get to one. So big game on Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. Zachary, appreciate the $10 super chat. He says, thanks again for all you guys do. I don't know how you guys keep giving us hope when this team gave up on fans years ago. Stay strong while the rest of us feel weakened. Hope your son is doing great. Appreciate the kind words about PJ. As far as the rest of that goes, listen, we can't punt on the season this soon. We gotta dig deep here. We gotta hold out hope. Let's just get one. You get one, the confidence grows. We can go from there. So let's see if they can find a way to win a game on Sunday. You do that, or I'll be feeling a lot better. Cody, FGB at F-Flus. You heard the man.
Let's get the F-Fluses going down
Get
below.
the F-Fluses in the chat. The beat Fluses in the chat. Whatever you want to type.
Let's go.
Come on, man. Come on. We're beating Matt Eberflus, right? Right?
Has to.
It's not going to be easy with how Dallas is playing offensively.
It would be a cruel world if somehow Matt Eberflus, after everything.
Well, especially if his defense is a big reason why.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be hard to take.
Yeah.
P with the FMEs.
FMEs. Love that too.
Martin in the chat. We got Fire Flus. Already did that.
Fire Flus.
Thanks for the consistent
Who
content,
remembers,
bro. We got you, man.
Who remembers the petition from last year that we started?
Forgot about those. We did about 7 or 8 pages long.
Yeah. Should have sent it to Hallis Hall, to be honest. But, hey, luckily the Bears ultimately made it.
Didn't have to.
Yeah.
It would have been sent after that Detroit game had it not happened. Signed and delivered. I might have driven it there myself.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys.
But, yeah, I'd say that was good times, and in a way it kind of was, but in all reality, it really wasn't.
Right.
Cody, okay, we already hit Cody. We got Dub Press Bears fan. I appreciate Ben calling out the team, but how much of this is on the coaching staff? Look, when you get beat the way you did in week 2, it's on everyone. No one was good enough. Coaching, offense, defense, special teams. When you lose 52-21, you got your ass kicked in all phases. So the good news about the NFL compared to like college football is style points don't really matter. It's about overall wins and losses. No one cares how you get there. You just got to get there. So you win this week by 1 point. That's the same as winning by 31 points. It's that simple. So we'll see if they can do so because that was a tough one on Sunday in Detroit. Shout out to Michael Horowitz with the mini boom.
We'll
dropping a 50 piece.
Yeah, he says everyone overreacts when they don't see immediate improvements, but you can't take shortcuts to success, but you have to beat Flus. It has got to start now this week in practice.
Yeah, Declan Doyle said today that the players answered the bell in yesterday's practice, and then they need to do it today and tomorrow, he said. So don't know how the practice went today, but other than the injury report, which we'll get to. But, yeah, I mean, practice habits carry over. If you bullshit in practice, it's not gonna carry over. Obviously, it's not as simple as that. You obviously have to have talent, have to execute on Sundays, all that stuff. Practicing hard doesn't guarantee anything, but that's like the bare minimum. You have to be on your P's and Q's constantly. So hopefully this is a good week of practice, and hopefully they find a way to win on Sunday. America's game of the week against Dallas. I would guess 25 to 30 million people are going to be watching this game. So no pressure.
Yeah, the the Bears opening week game against the Vikings was already a top 5 most watched matchup so far this year. Granted, it's only been 2 weeks, but yeah, I'd imagine this one it's gonna have a lot of eyeballs on it.
It's gonna be the Fox crew, Tom Brady. It's gonna be heavily watched.
That it will. Roy says, heard Bears fans are selling tickets and Cowboy fans are buying tickets. Heard more Cowboy fans. Does that mean a silent count?
I don't think it will be a silent count. I don't think there will be more Cowboys fans than Bears fans. That being said, Cowboys fans do travel, so I would imagine, I don't know, maybe 10,000 Cowboys fans are there. We'll see. They're not gonna drown out the stadium, though. I mean, that's not gonna be the case. So, see what the fan disparity is on Sunday. Both teams have a navy blue, so it might be somewhat hard to tell. But yeah, I regardless of the environment, it's a high pressure situation. So we'll see if the Bears can deliver. Appreciate the 5, Roy. We got Michael with another 50 coming in. In the meantime, since he sent in 2 50s in short proximity, Colin, I would say that applies to a boom. So let's shout out our guy, Michael Horowitz. Boom! He says, you play like you practice. Johnson even alluded to the same dumbass penalties happening in practice. Always translates to the game. Yeah, if you're not doing the fundamentals well on a Wednesday afternoon when there's no crowd, doing it in front of 70,000 is not going to be easier. So, yeah, I mean, you gotta lock in on the details throughout the week. Football is such a unique sport in compared to the other sports because you practice and study for hours and days on end throughout the off season during the week, obviously, all for a 3-hour game once a week. You know, baseball, you play 6 out of 7 days. Basketball, you play anywhere from 2 to 4 days per week. Those sports, you don't practice as much. Football, it's 95% practice, or 90 to 95% practice, 5 to 10% game. So you got to lock in during the week. There's no days off for the most part. So, yeah, it's, you know, if Ben Johnson says they don't have championship practice habits, he's been around a team that won 15 games last year and went to the NFC Championship the year before. I think he has a better idea of what that looks like than anybody on the Bears team other than Joe Thuney and or Grady Jarrett. So, yeah, I think that I would trust his word on that.
Yeah, but, I mean, you know, wise words from Mike here. I mean, listen, you have to set the standard, right? Like, and look, I mean, this amount of penalties that the Bears have had through the first 2 weeks, it's not sustainable for, competent football, much less winning football. So, look, yeah, they have to make improvements. This week's a great week as much as any to start, really kind of honing in, tuning in those fine details, and like I said, setting a new standard. So hopefully they do that this
James
week.
in the chat says, so is soccer, so is volleyball. Well, for one, I was talking about the major American professional sports. Two, those sports do play twice a week, typically. Like college volleyball plays twice a week. Professional soccer, especially in Europe, is you play a game on the weekend and one during the week, typically. But, yeah, I was talking about the four major sports in America for the most part. So, that was what I was getting at. Alonzo, are they not bringing anybody for a workout at corner? I guess not this week. I'm surprised by it because, little teaser, Jalen Jones did not practice again today. So if they played a game today, their healthy corners are down to 4. Tyreek Stevenson, Nashawn Wright, Josh Blackwell, Nick McLeod. I'm guessing they will elevate one of their practice squad corners, which is Dallas Flowers, and let me pull up the other guy's name. It would be Dante Manning. These were 2 later practice squad additions because they cut Trey Flowers at one point. So I don't know what to tell you. Maybe they're confident that Jones will play or that they'll elevate one of these guys and that'll be their 5th corner. And you've kind of seen him play a little bit. This is an interesting angle, Cullen, is Jonathan Owens has gotten some snaps, so they might go to some 3 safety looks with 2 corners. With Owens is kind of a hover guy, so that's an option as well. He could play a little nickel if you needed him to, but I am surprised that we didn't hear any about any workouts on Tuesday.
No workout.
Not even with like the big name, like the Gil, just like
Somebody.
guys you had on the 90-man roster, like the Mekhi Garner people of the world. Like those guys aren't on rosters. I was surprised by that.
I was too, but then again, you also think they didn't, really bring anybody to compete for edge. They didn't bring anybody to compete for running back necessarily, other than Britton Brown, obviously during the preseason. But this is kind of one of those things where like we kind of broke it down when we talked about Ryan Poles as a GM. Like these are one of those things that like you can have your processes and everything, but you got to have a plan in some sort. And to me, like maybe their plan is to just elevate one of their practice squad guys at cornerback for this Sunday, but yeah, it's a really bizarre kind of process by Ryan Poles to not at least like bring in some.
I just can't imagine they roll into game day with 4 because if one guy goes down, you basically have no backups. That's a position where guys get soft tissues all the time. So you got the bye week in 2 weeks, so maybe they're seeing how it goes the next couple weeks. But I don't know. I'm surprised by it. But,
yeah. Andre says, I know you like to respond to people that pay, but we as subscribers should have a voice too. If you use #Bears, we do have a mailbag where we answer you guys' questions as well too.
I hear you, Andre. We don't try to discriminate, but I mean the reality is when people do send their hard-earned money, we do have to prioritize those. That's just how it works. But we do try to give shout-outs. If you do use #Bears during our mailbag segment, we try to work those in. I'll try to be more mindful of it. I can't get to every comment in the chat. It's just not possible. If 25 people were watching, we could. But and we appreciate the love and support, and it doesn't mean that we don't value everyone in the chat. But if someone sends me their hard-earned money, like I have to prioritize those. Like that's just how it is. But Andre, throw #Bears in there. We'll try to work you into the show. I promise. Especially during our mailbag segment. Michael again. He says. Had to turn up the volume here at Memorial Stadium to simulate the crowd noise that we have in Bloomington this week. Illinois, Indiana this week, Cullen, so.
One of the biggest games of the week, that one along with Auburn, Oklahoma. Like, it's going to be a sneaky good game, I feel like. Illinois, they're kind of one of their big tests early on in the season, but, yeah, the Fighting Illini. I mean, are they potentially playoff bound? They take care of Indiana.
Winner of this game is in a good position.
Yeah, they really are. So
Matt Pilot, I absolutely value you. Petey, Justin Baker, P, David Warner, Robert Dre, Prometheus, Tony, Bears fan 40, Andre, Cheesy, Justin Baker. I promise I value all of you guys. We read all of your comments. Like, trust me, if I could reply and and chat to each one of you individually, I could, but like I just don't have enough time. Like I have a wife and a child at home. Like it's impossible. Like I try to do the best I can. Believe me, my DMs are open on social media. I get back to everyone as fast as I can. So I'll continue to do the best I can, but I'm not going to lie and say it's possible for me to literally read every single comment in real time and answer everything, because like there's 400 people watching. We have 4 segments already scripted out and ready to go. We'd be here for 8 hours. It's not feasible. But we do appreciate you guys.
We do.
And think of the chat too. A lot of the chat is so you guys can interact with each other as well. Like we want to interact with you guys, but you guys should be interacting with each other as well. So
Michael literally said, Harrison, if you did that, the show would last 10 hours. Like literally. And again, we love that. And like, especially when we plan out those kind of longer streams, we really do prioritize. And like, listen, I'm constantly reading the chat all the time, but obviously, like Harry said, like
Colin, you guys would be amazed how much time Cullen sifts through our just normal everyday videos and like is replying and reading your comments. Like we spend time on it.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say we're this and other channels are that. I think if you scroll through our comment section of our videos and saw how many like comments we heart, reply to that, compare that to other shows, a lot of people don't do that. And I'm not saying that makes them worse and us better, but like when I know how YouTube works and I read other people's comment sections as well, they're not replying to people for the most part. So just know that we value the community aspect of this channel immensely.
Yeah.
But there's 130,000 subscribers. Like it's just, it's hard. So just know we value each and every one of you, and hopefully you guys appreciate the content and continue to show up and watch. We would appreciate it. Michael again says 60 to 70 plays. People always say it's 60 minimum, but in reality, all you need is the guys to lock it for 12 minutes, 60 plays, 4 seconds each. You got to show up. Yeah, I mean, I remember studying in college. In reality, the actual plays of a football game, 60-minute game, the plays are about 12 to 15 minutes. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, the actual action is like 12 to 15 minutes. Who can play better in those 12 to 15 minutes? That's what it comes down to. Impact, right isn't agile. You got spun around like a cartoon last week. If Jackson struggles more, kick right inside the maul, Trapillo at right tackle. I mean, sure. I actually think Darnell, for the most part, has been fine. He's had a couple bad reps, a couple bad penalties, but, I mean, he's been, I would say, your second best offensive lineman. I would say Tooney's been your best. Wright's been your second best. And then, probably Dahlman 3, but he's been pretty average. Jackson, I thought, played better last week, but he wasn't great in week 1. And obviously Braxton's had his struggles. So, listen, Darnell Wright's not perfect, but I do think he's a solid right tackle.
That, and you don't want to abandon your offensive line plan.
Jonah Jackson's making $17 million a year.
Yeah.
He'd have to be really bad for an extended period.
Yes.
So that's just the reality. Alonzo, and he was better last week, by the way.
Alonzo says, do you think Dennis Allen trusts them to run man because of the lack of superstars, or will they run more zone? They were getting cooked through in a few zones.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to run zone, you have to eliminate explosives. And last week they did not do that. So you got 2 options. One, you run a lot of man coverage and you take some chances, try to get home to the quarterback. Or 2, you kind of go to a bend, don't break style, but you really have to communicate well on the back end, and you can't break. I felt like last week they tried to go bend, don't break, Cullen, but they broke. They had a couple busted coverages, some missed tackles. Like, that was kind of the Eberflus defense, which when everybody's in sync, that defense works really well because you force teams to dink and dunk and you kind of clamp down in the red zone and stuff like that. But it's harder to generate those like game-changing plays. So, I would like to see them dial up some pressure this week.
It's also, obviously it's situational, right? Like when you, decide to play more zone or when you go on the attack. Me personally, like, when you're a defensive coordinator and you choose to, send pressure and to really have those one-on-one matchups, like, yes, you are going to get burned potentially. You're also taking control when your team's off the field, like really putting in the effort of like, all right, I'm going to force Dak Prescott to make a decision here quick or whomever. Like, get them out of their comfort zone. Because if you
Yep.
let Dak, sit back there in the pocket 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds, I mean, he can really.
He's
take
very
anywhere.
similar to Goff. Like, if he's just comfortable back there, I would say Goff's a tick more accurate, but
Right.
they're similar in the sense of you give them time to dissect the field, especially with the weapons they have, just like Detroit. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Fergie's a good tight end. With backup DBs, they're going to pick you apart. So, you can't go 0 blitz every play, but
Right.
I think you got to pick your spots on bringing pressure. Ben says, should have just made Justin Fields head coach. That would have fixed everything, Ben. Cornelius, we know Flus is going to play a lot of zone. How can Caleb and the offense take advantage of that? Oh, you got to identify the soft spots. We know he's not going to blitz a ton. I think this offensive line against non-pressure looks against the personnel Dallas has up front should hold up for the most part. You have to be patient against Flus's defense because, last week they had some coverage busts on the back end, which is why Russ went nuclear. I would guess they get that cleaned up this week. Obviously, if they don't, you got to take advantage of those, but you got to be willing to take the 6, the 8-yard completions and those type of things. So Ben will have something dialed up, and just got to go execute it.
Yeah, just be mechanically sound. Like, just really be, just execute the offense. Like, obviously, through script, we've seen it through 2 weeks, Harry. I think, like, Ben Johnson's script, like, it's clearly working. Like, he understands how to get Caleb involved and kind of
He's scheming guys open.
settle them down. It's just, once you get out of that, like, really just focus in on just, again, not doing too much freelancing. Like, if they're playing a lot of zone, like, just, again, hit what's open, find the soft spots, as you mentioned.
This should be a tight ends game. Like,
Yeah.
Zone coverage, Cole Kmet, Colson Lovin, they should be able to find soft spots in the zone. That I would be trying to attack between the numbers with the tight ends. The Cowboys linebackers are not very good. I think that's where you can attack this defense. TJ, what are the odds we trade Swift and or more, and what can we get for them? I'm not sure Swift has any trade value. Maybe you get like
Late round pick swap.
late round swap.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd rather just keep him. His guaranteed money runs out after this year. Like, if it's a late round swap, I'd probably just keep him, even if he's not your starter. And then for more, I don't know. I don't think you'd get a 1 for more. Could you get a 2? Maybe. If you could get a 2 and you're bad at the deadline, I'd be pretty tempted. Like, if you're a non-contending team at the deadline, a team offered you a 2, I'd probably take it, if I'm being honest. Now, we're at least a few weeks away from that. If a 2's on the table and you got no shot at making the playoffs, then that certainly would be tempting, because then you can just start Burden the rest of the year and kind of get him, into some, ideally build some chemistry with Caleb heading into next year. So, we'll see. I think that the DJ thing, and I've gotten a few questions about it. We'll probably talk about that in a mailbag. But I think that's a name to watch over the next 4 to 6 weeks, Colin, depending on A, where this team is in the standings, and B, what his role in the offense is, especially if it continues to be clear that Rome is the top guy.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things. Like, right now, I would estimate DJ's value to be in a day 2 pick. Whether you get a second or not, I think it could be up for debate. But
could depend on the team. Like, if it's like a true Super Bowl contender, like if the Chiefs came calling, I'd want a 2 because
later.
I know they're 0-2, but if they at least make the playoffs, that pick's in the 20s for the first round, so second round in the 50s. Do I want to trade the 89th pick or DJ Moore for the 89th pick? Like, ideally not. So, could depend on the team.
Yeah, no, I think ultimately it's going to come down to the fact that, is DJ Moore going to be bought in? Is he going to be sitting there willing to block? Is he going to be willing to, run 110% when he may not be the number one focus on a particular play? And, how will he react in the media? Look, these are all things that up to this point, it hasn't been a major, red glaring issue. But again, with Rome Odunze's emergence and the way this offense is kind of trending,
it could end up being more just that. Rome's emerging, if you're not contending, which again, I'm not punting on this season, but in the hypothetical of you're not near the deadline, they want to get Luther more involved. there could be a scenario where it just makes sense for both sides. Trade him to a contender. He's never been on a winning team, and then get a day 2 type of pick in return. So we'll see. Next few weeks are going to be interesting on that front. Paleo, appreciate the 5. Shout out to everyone in the chat. We got Dr. David, Mr. Blonde, Jamie, Prometheus. You guys are legends. Is Ryan Poles not bringing anyone in because he's scared, or do you think he's still feeling good? Your Poles breakdown was a game changer. Well, to be clear, like the guys you would work out and bring in this time of year, they're not franchise-changing guys. It's more of just like you're trying to plug holes with Band-Aids, right? Like Stephon Gilmore at this point in his career, you're probably talking about like a low-end CB2. Could be better than what you have, which is why I'd be interested in working him out. Same with a guy like Kendall Fuller. But, again, it's more of just a numbers game. Like, you just don't have that many bodies. So I am a little surprised on that front. But I don't think Poles is scared to work out random guys on Tuesday. Teams do that every week. So I actually don't think that's the case. Ben, in all seriousness, I love the channel. Thank you, Ben. Your articulation and knowledge are compelling. Hope to see you in Chicago, man. Been watching for years. Yeah, I got out there last fall, trying to find a time to do it again. Had a blast, man. So if we don't get out there during the season, hopefully in the spring or summertime, I can make a trip and be a good time. I'd love to come once baseball rolls back around, hit a game at Wrigley or something, and hang out for a few days. So stay tuned. We'll make it happen. Sish Lover, any info on meet and greet? Well, there you go. I was just talking about that. Nothing concrete right now. Part of it, Colin, believe it or not, is having a 2.5-year-old. It makes traveling a little challenging.
A little bit.
I got a wedding in Michigan during the bye week, so we thought about going to Chicago, doing a few days, then driving up, but it was just too complicated. So we're not doing that. But yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, too, like, our jobs revolve around us making content and going live and all that other stuff. I mean, maybe, if the NFL eventually does have the draft in Chicago or something, maybe that could be something that we look to do
for
someday
sure,
or something like that. But, I mean, in terms of, like, just, general meet and greet, I mean, that's obviously you got a few obstacles.
I'm 90+% confident I will get to Chicago before next football season. I don't know when. I don't know if it'll be early spring, but I think worst case next summer we will come out. My wife had a blast as well. PJ was fine when we traveled last year. Whether he comes again or not, we'll figure that out. But it's just a matter of when. I don't know when yet, but it will happen. Cody with the 5. Appreciate your guys' support today all across the board. I want to see Luther Burden get some receptions and maybe a touchdown Sunday. I would love that. Listen, I think he's earned some PT. Few snaps I saw last week. He had a couple nice blocks. He's had a couple nice kick returns. I would just simple thing I would just do. Just make him the punt returner. Like, why does Devin Duvernay need to be the punt returner? I got nothing against Devin Duvernay personally, but unless they just don't trust Burden to catch punts, we've seen on these kick returns, Colin, he's got more juice. Yes. I mean, so if they trust Burden to catch the ball, then get on punt return. And look, if he muffs one, okay, go back to Duvernay. But, there's no reason not to give him that look. And then in the offense, and Ben Johnson said it this week, we want more packages for him. Find a play in your opening script, whether it's a jet sweep or a screen. Just get him a touch. I feel like he's a guy, get him a couple of touches, kind of build that swagger with him. He could change a game for you. So, and I just feel like, too, you want to keep him engaged because at some point the plan is going to be to have him more involved. So you don't want to go 5, 6, 7 weeks where he's got one touch a week in the offense.
Right.
I would love it. Just 3 or 4 touches this week. I'm not asking for anything crazy. I'd like to see him be involved.
Yeah, Andre says, how do I pay for that? If you're talking about a super chat, it's that little money icon down at the bottom near the chat. You just click it. Any donations appreciated.
Not required at all.
Yeah, not at all. This is completely free content, by the way. YouTube, all you have to do is, join us here whenever we go live or watch our videos and stuff. But yeah, totally free. In terms of Luther Burden, love to see him get involved maybe a couple screens this game. Just get him out in open space with the ball in his hand.
Yeah, it's they're manufacturing touches for DJ, and I get it. He's making more money, and he's a more proven player. But, like, give a couple of those to Burden. Like,
Why not?
You drafted this guy 39th overall, and he's excellent in space. Get him the ball. I get it. You almost have like an influx of weapons. Not everyone's going to have high volume share each week, but like you can. Part of your game plan could be, hey, we're going to run these 2 screens to Luther Burden on Sunday, no matter what. One's going to be in the opening script, and we are going to find one later in the game. That's not that difficult to do. Marcus, hypothetically, if you could trade for any player in the league right now for a 5th to help us take the next step, who would you trade for?
I'm assuming a player that's worth a 5th, like in general.
Yeah. No, like, but still, like that's
yeah.
Who I don't know, some corner that could help you, I guess. Like
I guess like
what pass rusher are you getting for a 5th round pick?
Yeah.
Is there a left tackle out there you can trade a 5th for that is an upgrade?
Like what would Austin Booker be worth in the open? Like you're not trading.
Probably like a 5th.
Yeah, so like an Austin Booker level pass rusher.
I don't even know who that would be.
Right.
I mean, it's like, I'll just use Dallas for an example this week. Like, is Dante Fowler worth a 5th? I don't know. Is he a 6th?
I think it would probably be like which position you would probably want to target. Whether
maybe a running back.
Yeah.
You could probably find a running back for a 5th that may not be like a high level starter. I don't know. Like Sean Tucker, what is he worth in a trade? 6th? Like, I'd be interested in someone like that.
Yeah.
Probably a running back, someone that you could put into this rotation that could help right away. That's someone I'd be interested in. Okay, Michael, again, I got 3 kiddos, 9, 5, 19 months ain't easy. Listen, man, it's the best reward in life, but your life just changes, and that's part of it. But yeah, it's the travel's the hardest part. I think the day-to-day, you get used to that fairly quickly, but especially you got to hop on a plane. It's a different ball game. So, shout out to you, man. 3. That's 2 more than I have. One's busy. One's busy enough. So 3, that's a lot. All right. Thanks for all the questions, and I do want to shout out everybody. Ricky says, do a meet and greet in Michigan. I would go. Is anyone? How about this, real quick? Is anyone near Traverse City in Michigan? Because that's where this wedding is. If there's enough people in Traverse City, I could find. I'm surely there's a couple like sports bars. I'll be there Wednesday through until Sunday. What are the dates?
Strap says I'm in Lansing. Jose in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay, that's where my brother-in-law is. It's his wedding. It's in Traverse City. I will be there.
Strap said I would definitely come to meet you.
I mean, if there were enough people, then I would consider setting something up. Let me see real quick. So, yeah, I'm flying out Wednesday the 1st. The wedding's the Saturday. Realistically, Thursday night would probably be the night to potentially do something. So, I'll put some feelers out. We'll see. I also have to check with the wife's side of the family. I mean, there could be stuff planned every day. I actually don't know. So, but yeah, it could be fun. Be fun. All right, let's talk some ball. A lot to get into. If you do have more questions, #Bear Super Chat. We'll get to those here in about 10 or 15 minutes. We got the latest news and injury updates off the top. Caleb Williams is improving despite the haters, and can we please beat Matt Eberflus? That would be nice. All that and more to come here on Chicago Bears Now. Happy Thursday, everybody. This is Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Matt Eberflus spoke to the media today and talked about his time with the Bears. I react to that. The Bears coordinators also spoke to the media today, and I want to spend some time on one player that Dennis Allen spoke about. And then we do have the latest injury reports for both Dallas and Chicago as we're getting closer to Sunday's contest. And got to be honest, we are falling behind in this week's sub battle here at Chat Sports on Chicago Bears Now. We've picked up 87 new subscribers since Monday. Cowboys report, I get it. Downey had a baby. He's got the second kid juice kind of boost this week. Listen, that's hard to compete with, but They're at 194. Can we close the gap here? I would love to take them down in new subscribers this week. Scientists say that'll increase our chances of winning on Sunday. That may or may not be true. Subscribe to the channel, free and daily Bears content. Let's take down the Cowboys report. All right, Matt Eberflus talks. He was asked about his time in Chicago as the Bears head coach today. He's obviously the Cowboys defensive coordinator now, set to make his return to Soldier Field on Sunday. Here's what he had to say. He says, yeah, there's always hard moments in coaching. You're always disappointed when you lose because you put so much into it. The players put so much into it. You're most disappointed for the players. Once that settles in, then you go to work the next day. The sun comes up and you move forward. You learn, you grow, you keep going. That's what true grit is. That's what we're all about. He was also asked later about if he's thought about what the reaction is going to be on Sunday, and he said he hasn't thought about it. I find that hard to believe, but I don't know what I expect him to say there. Look, Matt Eberflus isn't a bad guy. Like, I wouldn't expect any coach in this situation to go out there publicly and be like, F that team or that fan base, whatever. But, like, the bottom line is he's just a really bad head coach. I mean, we saw that play out in real time. Situationally, his awareness, just with the media. He probably wasn't ready for the job, and he never really improved at it. So I got nothing personal against Flus. That being said, I do want to kick his ass this week. So you know what to do. Spam beat Flus in the chat. Come on, guys. We got to take Matt Eberflus down here on Sunday. It would suck if his defense was a big reason the Bears lost this week. All right, Shamar Turner, a guy we have not talked much about because he missed all of training camp with a high ankle sprain. He's been a healthy scratch the first 2 weeks, but could that change? Dennis Allen was asked about kind of his status and where he's at in his development after not playing the first 2 weeks. Here's what DA had to say today. Quote, really, it's just continuing to work and practice. He missed a lot of time in training camp, but I think he's turning a corner. And then it's about taking advantage of the opportunity when it comes on game day. I briefly mentioned this the other day. Listen, obviously, Gervon Dexter, for the most part, is having a good year. Didn't do as much against Detroit, but I thought he had a really good week one. Grady Jarrett, if healthy, is going to play a good amount. But let's face it, Andrew Billings, Chris Williams, 89 combined sacks, 5 tackles. They're not grading out well on PFF. They're not creating any splash plays. Now, Billings is he's more of a true nose. Turner, it probably fits more of that 3-tech mold. So I'm looking at like Chris Williams. If Grady Jarrett's active this week, okay, cool. Like, he's going to play, obviously. But, like, why can't Shamar Turner get snaps over Chris Williams? I would just flip that if I was Johnson and DA. Make Chris Williams inactive, make Shamar Turner active. I'm not saying give him 30 snaps. Give him 10 to 15 snaps, see how he does. Because in 30 snaps, Chris Williams is giving you nothing so far this year. So that seems like kind of just an easy swap to give the second-round pick some snaps and an opportunity. Remember, second-round pick here. Like, it'd be one thing if Chris Williams was, making plays in that rotation, but he's not. So even if you're unsure about how productive Shamar Turner is going to be, give him an opportunity because 2 guys in front of him and one that's a similar body type and is probably the defensive tackle position that Turner will play as well, has given you nothing. So that seems like an easy switch when it comes to Sunday. All right, coming up, we will get into some more takeaways from all 3 coordinators as Dennis Allen, Declan Doyle, and Richard Hightower spoke to the media today. But first, we want to show some love to our sponsor. That is, of course, Prize Picks, the best daily fantasy sports app in North America is Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement on Prize Picks where it's good to be right. It's also good to have football back, which means I'm playing Prize Picks all the time, firing off tons of lineups. It's very easy to play as you just pick more or less on stat projections for 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineup right, certain lineups can earn you up to 2,000 times your money. That's right, $10 can turn into 20,000 with Prize Picks. They also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. This week, the max discount that Prize Picks is offering is Patrick Mahomes more than half a passing yard. So I took that, added Caleb Williams and Dak Prescott more on their passing yards to make this a 3-player lineup this week. Caleb Williams at 218.5, Dak Prescott 250.5. That's a big number, but let's face it, the Bears secondary is banged up and not playing well. Dallas' secondary hasn't been great either, so I like Caleb to have more than 218.5. $20 entry to win $105. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, more coordinator takeaways, and then we'll get to the injury report. Declan Doyle echoed the sentiment from Ben Johnson in terms of Caleb Williams improving. He said he also thought that from week 1 to week 2, Caleb showed clear signs of growth and that they expect him to do that from week 2 to week 3. So that's kind of the thing, right? Like the next step is taking another step. Now, Ben Johnson said yesterday it's not going to be every week it's better, but over the course of the season, and I said this before the year, from where it starts to where it ends in week 17, clearly it needs to be higher toward the end of the year than it was at the beginning. So it would be nice to see another step forward this week. Declan Doyle also expressed his respect for Eberflus and his defensive style as a whole. That's something Ben Johnson said as well yesterday, that Eberflus's defense at times gave them problems when he was the OC in Detroit. So they aren't brushing off what he's capable of in terms of calling a defense. Dennis Allen added this when it comes to Jalen Johnson, saying that they're having to readjust certain things without him out there. Here's something in further detail that he said, quote, "We've been working without him most of training camp. We didn't have him in the first game, but anytime you lose a player of that caliber, it's a hindrance." Now, the good news is, the first part of that quote is, they didn't have him in training camp. So they do have a lot of practice reps with Tyreek Stevenson and Nashawn Wright as the 2 outside corners. Now, you might say, well, they had that last week and they got torched. They did, but also Jalen practices the starter all week, got the start, obviously, and then they had to pivot. I'm not saying it would have been a different result if Jalen never even started the game and didn't even practice, but at least there are those built-in reps from camp with Stevenson and Wright as the starters. They both just clearly have to play better, so hopefully they can do that. Richard Hightower, a couple thoughts from him. He was asked about Jake Moody, said they're excited to get him in, called him a very talented kicker, and they're going to develop him on the side. Obviously, the focus is on this week and what they're currently doing, but I don't think they brought him in by accident. Like, they see a big leg here. They see upside. They see a guy whose confidence is probably down a little bit. They got to build that back up, but potentially a long-term answer at kicker. We'll have to wait and see. He also added, and I agree with this, that Kavontae Turpin is probably the word he used, or possibly, I can't remember, the best return man in the NFL. I think he's pretty easily the best return man in the NFL. He's one of those guys, and I have firsthand experience watching him at TCU. Every time he lined up to catch a punt or a kickoff, you think he's housing it. Like, seriously, he was that electric in college, and he's done that in the NFL as well. So, Torrey Taylor, punting the ball to the sidelines, good hang time. Like, you really gotta be focused in, because he makes that first guy miss, he could be off to the races. So that has got to be a intentional focus this week to try and not let him change the game on special teams. All right, on the injury front, 6 players did not practice for the Bears today. Karan Amagaji with that elbow, more on him in a sec. Obviously, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon as well. Jalen's going to go to short-term IR. Could be out for the season, obviously, just a matter of completing that transaction. And by the way, side note, I assume they're going to sign Tano Passanio to the 53 once they do so, but we'll see. Jalen Jones still did not practice, so as of now, you got 4 healthy corners. We'll see if that changes. TJ Edwards did not practice with a hamstring. Jeremy Fowler says he's a long shot to play, and then DeMarco Jackson, same deal, so a little thin at linebacker as well. Now back to Karan Amagaji. He must have gotten hurt yesterday, because remember yesterday he was limited with an elbow injury, so probably what happened is he started yesterday's practice healthy, and then in the middle of practice something happened, so that's why he got put into the limited category, because he started the practice but didn't finish it. That's my guess of what happened, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but what I do know is he can't stay healthy, man. It's reminding me of Tevin Jenkins, but at least Tevin Jenkins, when he played, was good. Karan, it's like he had that major injury coming out of Yale, but now what's happening? Different body parts are getting hurt, because especially for these big guys, it's like an elbow might be more of a fluky thing, but when you have one injury, other parts of the body start to get injured, and I don't like where this is trending for him. In fact, I would not be shocked if when like an Austin Booker and or a Travis Homer come back, he could be a cut candidate, considering he's your 10th offensive lineman right now. DeAndre Swift, Grady Jarrett limited today. Grady didn't practice yesterday, so good sign that he was limited today. Hopefully he can do more tomorrow and play this week. Swift has that quad injury. Assuming he plays Sunday, regardless, I want to see more Monungai and even Roshan Johnson. But, if he's a little nicked up, that could scale back how much he plays. And, maybe that's a blessing in disguise, not because I'm trying to hate on Swift, but we need to see these other guys and see if they could show more production. Jahdae Walker, full participant. He didn't play in week 2 and was limited yesterday with that ankle, but he was ready to go. We'll see if he's part of the game day roster. He could be a healthy scratch. He'd be in that kind of tier of player potentially. But he did play in week 1, so we'll see if he's out there this week. For Dallas, same 4 guys, but Trayvon Diggs, after missing yesterday's practice with an illness, was full today. Tyler Guyton and Kevontae Turpin were limited yesterday. They practiced in full, so those 3 guys seem ready to go. The one guy that's almost certainly going to be out is Deron Bland, dealing with a foot injury. He's a long shot for Sunday, so they'll be down one of their corners, but sounds like Diggs is going to be just fine. Probably just had a stomach bug or something like that. All right, who you got? Bears, Cowboys. Type CHI for the Bears, DAL for the Cowboys. Obviously a pivotal game for Chicago. Don't want to fall to 0-3, so let us know who you guys think wins this game. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're popping out videos every single day here on Chicago Bears Now, and we got to take down the Cowboys report. So hit that subscribe button. Plenty of time to get more subs than them this week. We would greatly appreciate it. Bear down. All right, my guy Michael again. Come to Champaign for the OSU game. Got you on tickets. That'd be sick, man. That would be sick. What? Let me look at this. Illinois football schedule. So that game is October 11th. That is the week. So when is the Bears? Let's see. Bears schedule. I tell you what. You want to talk juice, Colin? That's the week the Bears play on Monday night against the Commanders. Ooh. So that's actually feasible, Michael. Now, again, I've got the 2-year-old, so, that'd be tough, but, I might actually look into that. I'm not going to lie. What is the distance from Chicago to Champaign, Illinois? I think it's pretty close. Let me see. 240. You could rent a car, though. Fly to Chicago Tuesday, Wednesday, hang out with the peeps for a couple days, drive up to Champaign for the game Saturday. I'm gonna give that an old 5% chance. I'm not saying it's likely, but I'll go one smoking J. I can't dismiss it.
It's not zero.
It's not zero. I'll look into it, Michael. I'll look into it. Cody.
I understand it's early in the season. However, it is possible to pivot from polls, seeing they extended them if we have another disaster season.
Is it possible?
Or is it possible? Excuse me.
Certainly possible. Would I predict that? No. I think what's probably more likely is some kind of shakeup with some other people in the front office. Maybe shift some scouts. Would you just? It seems weird because it seems like Ian Cunningham might have more league respect than Poles, but would you kind of just mutually part ways with a guy like that? I don't know. Jeff King, it seems like he's well respected in the building, so I don't think he'd go anywhere. Obviously, Cunningham is too. I'm just kind of spitballing. I just find it hard to believe that the Bears, 1 year into a brand new extension, would be like, yeah, this was a mistake. See ya. I'd be fine with it, but I think this year would have to go really poorly, and the development of key players would have to be bad for Poles to be out. But would I be fine if they fired him? Yeah, I would. I know it's always you feel weird when you're like, yeah, fire this guy, fire that. Unfortunately, that's part of the job as a content creator. When Matt Eberflus loses 10 games in a row, it's like, yeah, you probably should fire this guy. These are people, though, but it's hard to defend Poles at this point in his track record. So for his sake, he'd probably feel a lot better if they won a few games here. So, All right, hashtag Bears Super Chat. We'll get to as many questions as you can, especially those hashtag Bears ones. We know not everybody can donate, so if you're wanting to get on the show, fire in some hashtag Bears questions. We will get those answered here on the show, and then we got a couple more segments coming up too. So plenty more to discuss.
Yeah, get y'all's questions in. Use hashtag Bears. Be anything. Could be, what do you think the key to victory is going to be? What are your thoughts on potential trade targets for the Bears to add to this team? Whatever it may be.
Questions about
Dunes the NBA. That's a good question.
Trade ideas, players they should sign, stuff about the Cowboys game. Really anything. We'll answer whatever as long as it's not, something crazy. So I think you guys know what would fall into that category. So hashtag Bears Super Chat. I see a few coming in here. So continue to fire away. We will get to those here on this mailbag episode coming up here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. It's time for a Chicago Bears Now mailbag. More problems. I see the spelling there. If the Bears keep losing, could DJ Moore get traded before the deadline? A couple people did ask some questions in the comments about this, so I did want to lead off this mailbag about the DJ Moore. Could you trade him? Could you not? Listen, if you ask me right now, gun to my head, is DJ Moore on this team next year? I would say no. Now, that could change. We're 2 weeks into this season. They did make a big investment in him, but as we've discussed, you can trade him with some dead cap penalty after this year, but nothing that would bury your books. Rome Odunze seems to be emerging as your top receiver moving forward. My gut tells me this would be his last year. Now, would it happen during the season? Before the year, I didn't really consider that possibility, even though people had asked me about it. He's been fine through 2 games. I mean, for wide receiver 2 numbers, these are, certainly fine, right? I mean, 4 catches for 57 yards. That's kind of what you would expect out of a wide receiver 2. That's what he's averaging per game right now. They've brought him out of the backfield a few times. But if you are losing, let's say you're 2-6 at the deadline and Luther Burden's coming along and you just want to give him a full-time role, some team offers you a day 2 pick, it'd be hard to say no, right? Especially if it's a second-round pick. Don't think you'd get a 1, but I do think it's at least worth discussing at this point. He doesn't seem as engaged as he once was here. But more than that, it's like if Rome's your top guy and you kind of have an over-influx of receivers and moving forward, you want to spend some money on other positions like pass rusher, left tackle, running back, trading DJ Moore to help you acquire players at different positions could make some sense. So I do think it's possible. I think it probably would only happen if one of 2 things happen. 1, you're just really bad and you're a seller at the deadline. 2, is there a scenario where you'd flip him for another player at a position of need, a corner, a pass rusher? Wouldn't rule that out either. So I still wouldn't bet on a midseason trade, but I wouldn't bet against it either. I think it's on the board as a possibility. Should the Bears trade DJ Moore? I want to hear from you. Would you just trade him? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I wouldn't today, but ask me again in 5 or 6 weeks because I think depending on how the next few weeks go, the chances could increase. Odunze NBA, hashtag Bears. Do you think the Bears can still make the playoffs? Yeah, of course. Again, I wouldn't bet on it. In fact, I'd probably bet against it. Just statistically, if you start 0-2, your chances aren't great. But winnable games coming up. Dallas, Raiders, Commanders feels more winnable on the road than it did before the season. Really, your only really tough game on paper over the next 7 or so games is at Baltimore. That's obviously going to be very difficult. But like at Cincinnati, no Joe Burrow. Saints at home, game you should win. So you got winnable games. Need to beat Dallas, though. Like, this is probably one of your tougher ones, to be honest, over the next few weeks. Justin Baker, what's the stat of the game that decides the game? I'd say explosives. Big plays. Who makes more of them? Bears just gave up way too many big plays against Detroit. Way, way too many. Dallas gave up a lot against the Giants. Who can generate more big ones? And then obviously, the typical stats. Turnovers, red zone, 3rd and 4th down, Penalties, that's another one. The Bears are just killing themselves with penalties. Got to play a cleaner game. I think it starts there. Appreciate all the questions. We'll continue to answer them here. We go live every Monday, Thursday, and game day and interact with all of you. Daily content on the channel, live 3 times per week, live interaction with you guys, shorts, YouTube shorts as well. We're doing it all here on Chicago Bears Now. We'd love it if you joined us for this journey. All you got to do is subscribe and turn on notifications. Super chat from Poppy Chulo Sits. Appreciate the deuce. Passing on Tyler Warren was a mistake. I liked him more before the draft. I came around to why they chose Loveland, 2 years younger, more natural route runner receiving type, longer arms, long-term projects as a better blocker. And I actually think he's been pretty good as a blocker. So I still think the upside is probably higher with Loveland, but so far Warren's clearly been the better player. So time will tell. Hopefully they get Loveland more involved. The Lego Empire, what do you think about our safety situation? I would not be surprised to see a trade in the offseason. Yeah, I mean, listen, none of your rostered safeties are under contract. Coming into the year, I kind of thought, okay, one of Kevin Byard or Jaquan Brisker will be here next year. Still think that could happen. Byard did not play well in week 2. It's his age catching up to him. That's certainly possible. The good news for Brisker is he's been healthy. The bad news is he's played fine, but he certainly hasn't, elevated to another step in his game. We'll see how he plays the rest of the year. I could see one or even both of Elijah Hicks and Jonathan Owens returning as backups. They're not going to cost a lot of money, and they're fine as backups. But I would think, at minimum, at least one new starting safety is on this team next year, whether that's in the draft or free agency or via trade. Guys, we got Awesome Bears hoodie available for you guys right here. We got an insane deal as well. This bad boy was $80 once upon a time. Right now, $48. It's just clean, too. Chris got the orange liner on the inside and the drawstrings as well. Love that look. Chatsports.com/Chicago hoodie. Chatsports.com/Chicago hoodie. That puppy is like 40% off. Do not miss this deal. It's awesome. I might get one myself. Chatsports.com/Chicago hoodie. Say quads, Barkley. Should we be calling the Texans about Dameon Pierce or Cam Robinson? We discussed Robinson a lot in the preseason. Pierce isn't getting much snaps now, and they're not running the football effectively, so I think that says a lot. I think before you'd go the Cam Robinson route, you would try someone else that you currently have, like a Theo Benedict. So right now, I would say probably not. Matt Bellick, the Cowboys have Jack Sanborn dropping into coverage a lot. Wan'Dale Robinson seemed to exploit it. Is that a matchup we can finally get Loveland or Burden have their breakout game? I think so. I think in general, the Cowboys linebackers aren't very good. Sanborn coming downhill is a solid player, but he's not great in coverage. Just because of his athletic profile. Good instincts, as we saw with the Bears, but you can find mismatches on him. I think both Bears tight ends, receivers in the slot, if they're dropping him, I think that's an area to attack. Kenneth Murray's not much better. I think the middle of the field against these linebackers, I think is an area to exploit if you are Ben Johnson and obviously Caleb Williams and these weapons executing the plays. Who you got in this one? Bears, Cowboys, who wins? Type CHI for Chicago, DAL for Dallas. If you can win this game, you can really get this thing back on track. This season is not over at this point in time, so hopefully the Bears can find a way to win at home. PD, #Bears. If Caleb doesn't work out, should Ben get to pick his own quarterback? Yeah, look, I think we're far, far, far away from that. I think Caleb is improving, and we're going to talk about that if you're watching live in the next segment. But, I would think that in the scenario where Caleb's not the guy, Ben Johnson would have heavy, if not almost sole control of who the next QB is in terms of who's available, whether it's the draft, whether it's free agency, whether it's a trade. I think, honestly, the first guy they would try is Bagent. They did extend him. And that's another thing. I just want to mention this as well. A lot of people out there in the media, fans, et cetera, have said they extended Tyson Bagent. They did that for a reason. Yeah, they did do that for a reason. Part of it is they just really like the guy, and he's a good backup and a good teammate, and he's reliable. Part of it could be that, hey, it's a security blanket. But, guys, he's under contract now through 2027. you don't have to be like, well, if we don't try Bagent now, then when? You've got 2 extra years. So if we get to the middle of next season or something and it's just not working with Caleb, try Bagent then. Week 3 this year, like, we are far away from needing to go that route. Okay, that's number 1. So I do think the next guy they would try, if it wasn't Caleb, would be Tyson Bagent. But I don't think we're that close to that being the case. I just don't. Shout out Matt Pilot here. Do we know what's going on with Kyler Gordon? Is he going to play this weekend? Not practicing through Thursday. Depending on when you're watching this, maybe he practiced Friday. I'd be shocked if he played this week. And it's unfortunate because there's a chance he wouldn't play next week. And if that's the case, you would have liked to short-term IR him. But he woke up the day before the game and his hamstring was tight. And I think they had already missed the window of when you can place him on short-term IR. So, like, it's just brutal, man. I like Kyler a lot, and I agreed with the extension, but these soft tissue things do pop up with him, and not ideal because, I would argue after Jalen Johnson, he's your second best player. And, oh, by the way, Jalen Johnson's likely out for the year. So your 2 best players have basically not played this year, and one of them isn't going to play this year in all likelihood in Jalen. So not great. All right, appreciate all the questions that you guys fired in. Tried to get to as many as possible. DMs are open. Ask me over there at HGramNFL, Twitter, Instagram. Give me a follow. DM me. We could talk ball on social media at HGramNFL. All right. Bears will be picking top 3 in next year's draft. I hope not. If they do, take that Bain guy out of Miami. I think he's my favorite non-QB right now.
He looks good, man. He looks really good.
That guy's a dog.
He looks good.
The good news for this draft is I think it's going to be a pretty good edge and tackle draft again. Those are my early thoughts from what I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll see once we get to April in 2026.
You say that. We're 2 L's away from firing off a mock draft.
At least we'll be looking into it potentially. So I did want to. I did see this, but I kind of saw it late. Look at this.
The Chiefs are the team I've thought about. Now, we got to remember, Xavier Worthy, it appears he's avoided major injury, so he's coming back. Rashee Rice is also back after week 6. So would the Chiefs still trade for him? I mean, DJ Moore's better than I'm not saying he's better or worse than those guys, but they also have Marquise Brown. So if you trade for him, is Marquise Brown the odd man out? I just that would be a lot of guys. Oh, we good?
Yeah.
Now, if you're the Chiefs starting 0-2 and you could get them right now, I think they'd be pretty interested. But Chiefs are a team I've thought about. I'm trying to think of some other teams that could be contending that would be interested. Ironically, Carolina could use them back. Another team that's been thrown out there, hypothetically, we talked about this on the last live show, was the Giants. If they turn to Jackson Dart and want to get a second weapon opposite of Malik Neighbors. I mean, Neighbors and DJ would be a pretty fun duo. Could you get Kayvon Thibodeau back? Would you go that route?
The way that our Giants host Marshall Green was talking about him, he may not want to. He may just. I don't know if he'd do it straight up, to be honest. I mean, Thibodeau's really played well.
He started well this year. I think before the season, DJ would have had more value on the trade market, but through a couple weeks, that's probably evened out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if the Giants would go that route.
Bears fan for life. I've said it. Trade him to the Panthers. Fleece them again.
I don't think you're fleecing anybody in a DJ trade because I don't think you're getting a 1. I mean, is a second-round pick a fleece? I mean, we could say what we want about DJ. He's still a good player. I'm not anti-DJ Moore now. If he's causing issues, that's not ideal. So, Trent McDuffie, good luck. Plus, you're going to have to pay him $30 million a year. I'll tell you what, though, moving forward, you could be in a bad spot at corner, Colin. What if Jalen's just not the same guy? Then you have no corners. Unless Tyreek plays well the rest of the year.
Kyler, but,
I'm talking outside guys.
Oh, outside.
I mean, could you need 2 new outside corners next year? It's not impossible. I mean, you're going to have Jalen back on the team next year. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if you can go into the season just being like, yep, he's going to be a lockdown guy.
I just think I'm like going over like how crazy that statement is because like throughout my time here at Bears now, like I feel like we've constantly kind of preached that this cornerback room, at least in general for the most part since I've been here, has been one of the deeper positions.
Well, yeah, because you have a true one in Jalen, you have a really good nickel in Kyler, and even if CB2 wasn't great, like
you had Terrell Smith
who's
now hurt.
You felt like out of all the options, you could find a serviceable CB2.
Right.
But now, one of those options, Terrell Smith, out for the year.
Yep.
Jalen's out for the year.
Yep.
Likelihood. Kyler hasn't been playing. And so, two of those options in terms of someone will emerge to at least be serviceable at CB2, they're both having to play full time.
Right.
And so,
it's not ideal.
Things change quickly in the NFL, man. It's just, yeah.
And again, Frazier, too, you haven't seen. Obviously, this entire time. So
yeah, I mean, does he ever play?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I hope so, but he's not playing this year.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
That's another reason why, like, I saw like Chris Canty on ESPN. There's a world where the Bears got to draft a quarterback next year. Like, even if you're not sold on Caleb after this year, I don't love this QB draft right now. B, I think there's a world where you have so many other needs. Like, just by default, you'd give it another year. Like
left tackle, edge, linebacker,
corner,
safety.
Like, I mean, linebacker, you may not. I mean, Tremaine's under contract, TJ's under contract. You drafted Hippolyte, Sewell's under contract. So, like, you could probably at least get by there. But, like, yeah, like, edge, left tackle, corner, and safety, running back.
Yep,
hello.
back too.
That's like 5 positions.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot,
yeah.
man.
Anthony, you're absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. That would be the day.
What did Anthony say?
Well, no, Humble says, who are we going to get? Carson Beck?
I like how Beck's played this year, but I've seen nothing from any of the draft-eligible quarterbacks that would be like, yep, let's punt on Caleb for that guy.
Right.
Let's punt on the number 1 pick, who is improving, in my opinion, and others as well, which we're about to talk about, for one of these quarterbacks in this draft right now. Long way to go in the college season, but it's the guy. I recorded a video on this on 4 Verts. It's going to drop tomorrow. I'll share it on the Bears community tab. You guys should just subscribe over there as well if you're just general football and NFL fans. The top 6 hyped QBs coming into this college season: Arch Manning, Lenore Sellers, Drew Aller, DJ Lagway, Garrett Nussmeier, and I can't remember the other one. There's one more.
You said Arch. You said
Sellers, Nussmeier, Aller, Lagway. There's another one in there.
And then there's oh my God, that's gonna bug me.
While he's looking it up,
Kate Klubnik.
None of those guys have lived up to expectations so far. If anything, some guys have underperformed. I mean, clearly, like Arch, like he's just been bad. So, yeah, like I promise you this. I don't think I will do a single mock draft, at least during the season, where I'd have the Bears draft a quarterback in the first round. Maybe some guy day 3 or something, developmental backup. But I'd be shocked if there was a development from the Bears side or from these prospects side that would make me go, I just don't see it right now. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Nussmeier may be the best one in terms of like the hyped guys that came into this.
Hell, if you end up with the top 5 pick, the best course of action might just be to trade back and get picks because you have so many needs potentially. So draft's a long way away. Moss Tanker, I'm hoping the Cowboys cowboy more than the Bears bear. Super chat of the day, Moss Tanker. The problem is the Cowboys typically cowboy in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
they've had a few regular season.
Of course.
But yeah.
How about we just outplay them and beat them? How about that? You just win a game.
I guarantee this much, regardless of what happens Sunday, whichever result, it will not be a normal game in the slightest.
Oh, not with these two teams.
Not even close.
Especially not with the Bears. You kidding me?
Like, if there's ever, like, this game right here, I'm, like, even more excited if that could even make sense than the opener.
This might be a video idea in, like, the dog days of the summer. Visiting, like, every game of the last 5 years and just pointing out the craziest thing that happened. Because I guarantee you something crazy happened in every game.
Yeah.
I mean,
it kind of, like, coincides with your
the crash outs.
Yeah, the crash
outs. A lot of them would just be those things.
Right.
But I'm sure I could find something from every game that was ridiculous.
I mean, just from last year, I mean, this year,
we've already seen it.
Yeah.
In both games.
Yes.
The end of the half sequence in Detroit.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Like, seriously.
I've, like, never seen that. Or at least not that I can remember. Crazy. Where they just legitimately, like, go back a play.
Oh, it's just
reverse
Detroit
everything.
Ball, 6 seconds. Okay.
Touchdown.
Game over.
Done.
Let's sign off. All right. We still have 2 more segments, so let's keep this thing rolling. Let's talk about Caleb Williams, and believe it or not, he is improving. So we will talk about that next here on Chicago Bears Now. Don't look now, Bears fans, but Caleb Williams is showing signs of growth. I know the haters don't want to hear that, and they don't want to believe it. Let's talk about it here on Chicago Bears Now. I'm Harrison Graham. Let's talk about the quarterback, the oh-so-polarizing Caleb Williams, who is under the microscope 24/7, 365. Ben Johnson, multiple times this week, has expressed his pleasure with his improvement and his overall process. Declan Doyle did on Thursday, and even some people on the outside are starting to see that the quarterback actually is taking some positive steps. Here's what Ben Johnson had to say in his last press conference. He said he took a big step from week 1 to week 2. I'm expecting the same from week 2 to week 3. His approach to the game right now is what it needs to be. He's coming in and doing the work. Eventually, these results will speak for themselves, talking about wins and losses. And, I just did an exercise like, okay, obviously completely different offense circumstances. Let's not just compare week 1 to week 2. Let's compare year over year, weeks 1 and 2 last year to weeks 1 and 2 this year. Okay. Weeks 1 and 2 last year, 37 to 66, 40 of 65. Not crazy more accurate, but a little bit more accurate. And remember, the opponents last year, the Titans, who were horrible, and the Texans, very good defense. So obviously one tough opponent, one not so tough. Yardage, much more this year. You're getting much more bang for your buck on completions, over 10 yards per completion. Total touchdowns to interceptions. 4 this year, 1 interception last year. 0 total touchdowns, passing or rushing, 2 interceptions. 1 of the 4 touchdowns this year was rushing. Just a little note there. Quarterback rating last year, 53, well below average. This year, 89.1, kind of like average. If you're right around 85 to 90 average, maybe a tick above average, but you'd like to be 90 plus. And he scrambled better this year. And I would just say the eye test, he looks better to start this year compared to last year. Last year, first year on an offense. This year, first year on an offense. And I think what stands out the most is just he looks better and more comfortable in the pocket. And that is where he needed to grow the most this offseason. There's a lot of areas of growth. He's nowhere near a finished product. No one is saying that. But you're not being objective if you're saying he's not improving. Not just from week 1 to week 2, but from the start of last season to the start of this season. Like, there are clear signs of growth. Now, is he where he needs to be as a number 1 overall pick? No. Like, you take a guy number 1 overall, you're expecting at least a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. But that doesn't always come right away. And for most guys, it takes a little bit of time, if not a lot of time. It's 2 games into a new offense, and I see a guy who's playing better just from week 1 to week 2 this year, but also start of last year to this year. I see a better quarterback so far, which has me excited and has given me some hope amidst a not-so-good start for the team as a whole. Do you feel like Caleb Williams is improving? Because I do. I think the data shows it. I think the eye test shows it. The coaches who coach this player, and this is a coaching staff who does not blow smoke, they're saying it. I think he's improving. Type Y for yes. Type in for no if you feel like Caleb is taking positive steps. How about Dan Orlovsky? Listen, Dan Orlovsky, when he goes on to First Take and they ask him to kind of go hot takey, not really a fan. But for the most part, I like his quarterback breakdowns. And it's easy to make fun of this guy, and I have at times, he ran out of the end zone, all that stuff. But this is a guy that played in the NFL, knows what he's talking about on the whiteboard in the film study room. Dan Orlovsky, pretty strong defensive Caleb this week. He tweeted this out a couple days ago. Maybe I'm alone. Caleb played well in week 2 for the most part and definitely improved from week 1 to week 2 with a lot of the controllables. He's talking about line of scrimmage, pre-snap, the operation. I agree. I thought in week 2 that was much cleaner than it was in week 1. Dan added this as well. The tape says there was improvement from week 1 to week 2, talking about Caleb at Chicago Bears. On Get Up this morning, Dan Orlovsky on Caleb Williams. I need everyone to take a breath on Caleb Williams. Can we just give the young man until November? We have to give him until November so we can actually evaluate if it's going to work or to see if there's signs of it working with him and Ben Johnson. It's the second week of the season in a new offense, and everyone is deciding right now if he's going to be the player that everyone wants him to be. No one hears that, quote, it's going to take time, it's going to take time. And listen, no one is more tired than me of hearing the word patience. This team is 15-38 under Ryan Poles. They haven't made the playoffs since 2020. But this kid is talented. We've seen improvements. Even the haters aren't being objective if they're saying he's not getting better. He's getting better. Is he where he needs to be? Not yet. But through 2 weeks of the season, he's playing at least like a serviceable starter. And I thought in week 2 he played like at least an above-average starter in a game that got out of hand in the second half because the defense just could not stop a nosebleed. I'm tired of waiting too. But I'm not going to punt on Caleb Williams this early, 2 games into Ben Johnson, when we have seen clear signs of growth. They took him number 1 overall. It would be insane to punt on him this fast. Insane. That is behavior. That would be behavior of a franchise who's never had a franchise quarterback. Oh, wait, that's the Bears. So let's not do that. Be patient. Let's give this some time, please. I think it's worth seeing this out for, honestly, an extended time here when it comes to Caleb and Ben Johnson's partnership. Ben's happy what the growth is, wants to see more. We should all want to see more, but it's, Rome's not built in a day. Let's take the steps for what they are and hope that by the end of the season, we're in a much better place than when it started at the beginning. More to come when it comes to Caleb Williams and some things I've seen personally when it comes to his improvement. But first, got to tell you guys about today's sponsor. That, of course, is Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. It's great to have football back, and I'm firing off Prize Picks lineups all the time because of it. It's very easy to play Prize Picks as you just pick more or less on stat projections on 2 to 6 player lineups. If you get your lineups right, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. Prize Picks also invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. For week 3, Prize Picks is offering a max discount for Patrick Mahomes of more than half a passing yard. I've used that in a 3-player lineup, as I also took Caleb Williams more than 218.5 passing yards. I also took more than 250.5 passing yards for Dak Prescott. $20 lineup to win $105. Of note, those max discount plays, the Patrick Mahomes more than half a passing yard, you can only use those in 1 lineup per week, so choose wisely. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Okay, some positive signs that I have personally seen when evaluating Caleb Williams' play so far this season, and especially in week 2, just in comparison to week 1, better footwork, better base. What does that mean? Drop more crisp, and when he's delivering the ball, the base is just more balanced. And in week 1, on some of those off-target throws, I thought his feet got too spread out, and his feet weren't always pointed to where he was throwing the football. Like, it's just little shuffles in the pocket of where you're throwing the ball can make a big difference. And Caleb spoke about that this week. He said, obviously, footwork is up there with the top things to be accurate. That's huge for me, just being able to have my feet and eyes all tied together to be in rhythm with the routes and my wide receivers. Focusing on that each and every week is important. He said that was a clear area of focus between week 1 and week 2, because that was my biggest concern and complaint of his performance in week 1. Look, the processing, the progression through the reads, like, that's coming along. Like, it's going to take time to get it where he's just, one of the best in the league at that. But the accuracy was concerning me because that was not an issue in college. We saw it at times this year. We definitely saw it in week 1. I thought he was much more accurate in week 2 against Detroit. 19 of 30, just under 65%, but that included 2 or 3 plays that probably should have been catches. He's probably more like 22, 23 of 30. I think his adjusted completion percentage in that game was in the mid-70s. So he definitely threw the ball with more accuracy, and I think the footwork and the overall base of when he's delivering the football were just in better spots. Number 2, the downfield accuracy, specifically deep ball, which per PFF is defined 20 air yards or more. Now, not every 20-plus yard throw in the air is a true go route deep ball, but it's a downfield pass. 4 of 10 this year, and believe it or not, 40% on 20-plus yard throws. That is well above average in any year in the NFL. I think average deep ball accuracy is in the 30s. So 4 of 10, good number there. And there's been a couple more that have been close. I think that deep end from Rome might have been 20-plus air yards that he dropped. So you're probably looking at more like 5 out of 10 there, which 50% is a great number on downfield throws. PFF passing grade on deep balls this year, 87 almost. Very good. 4 big-time throws downfield as well. So, those are defined by PFF, tight windows, precise accuracy on downfield throwing, whatever you want to call it. Don't know specifically which those are. I could probably figure them out if I went through every throw that he's made this year, but he's got 4 of those on the deep ball. And let's just compare to last year. Under 27%, so he's 13+%. Small sample size, but that's an improvement. 6 touchdowns to 5 interceptions last year. None of his touchdowns this year have been on deep balls, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks, but he got into trouble on the downfield passing last year. And his downfield PFF grade last year, 56.4. He's 30 points higher. Again, 2 games, no one's acting like all of a sudden he's mastered the deep ball, but improvement, right? That's the whole point of this conversation. He is improving. The deep ball is improving. He's tied for 15th in deep ball accuracy, so middle of the pack compared to last year where he was at or near the bottom in the NFL. That's a big jump from, the 30s to 15th. And then he's 10th in PFF grade on deep ball throws, 86.9, like I mentioned, which is 30 points higher. So good signs through 2 games. And then number 3, and this is probably arguably the most important one, I see a quarterback for the most part, and it's gotten away from him in both these second halves a little bit, but he's trusting the protection more, despite, by the way, the protection not always being great. Again, it's been better than last year, but not always being great. I see a guy climbing the pocket more. Sure, he's still bailing out some, and you want him to do that sometimes and make those plays on the move. You think of that dart to Rome in week 1 on that opening touchdown drive. You don't want to eliminate that from his game, but hanging in there. You think of that just simple, shallow crosser to Rome last week. 6-man blitz. It gets picked up. He hangs in the pocket before he gets hit, delivers an accurate throw. Rome does the rest. Like, that's NFL quarterback. Hanging in there, even if you're under pressure or about to be, and delivering the football. Not saying it's perfect every play, but I don't see a guy who's just jittery in the pocket. I see a more comfortable player. Again, is any of this perfect? Is he a finished product? No, he shouldn't be a finished product right now. But I see a lot of different areas where he is growing, not only in comparison to last year, but just from 1 week to the next. Now, we got to see more of it, obviously, and hopefully that takes place this Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. If you're riding the Caleb train, I don't know if I accidentally put training. If you're riding the Caleb train, let's get the 18s in the chat. Let's show some support. He could be the guy, guys. I don't want to act like he is for sure. And, if I'm saying, hey, do I 100% believe he's going to be the guy? I don't think I could say that with 100% certainty, but I'm still confident this is going to work because I believe in his talent and I believe in Ben Johnson. I think this marriage can happen, but we have to give it time as fans, even if there's going to be bumps in the road, which the head coach has acknowledged there's going to be. So hopefully we get another good performance this week. Hopefully we get a W this week. That's what we're all starving for more than anything else. But I am hopeful for Caleb Williams' development so far in Ben Johnson's offense. My name is Harrison Graham. Hit that subscribe button. We will continue to pump out content on a daily basis here. Bear down.
Maybe it's the Caleb Williams, training to be a better quarterback.
Yeah, train. They get the point.
It's open for interpretation.
Exactly.
I'm tired of the nail comments. As nails are your concern, really go get a pedicure or something, people.
I will say I've only done it once. My wife got me to go. The feet rub and all the stuff they do to clean up your nails feels pretty good. I didn't get them painted for what it's worth. People might freak out if I did. Although I don't know why people care. Feels pretty good. So if that's something, especially if you have a partner, I think that's something cool to do. It was her birthday, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, who gives a fuck about the nails, man? I mean, come on, seriously. His nails make no difference on if he's going to be the guy or not. All right, get the 18s in the chat. All right. One more seg?
One more
seg?
Yeah, did the same thing.
And then Colin and I are going to watch Thursday Night Football, baby. Let's go.
Thursday night.
Is this the end of Mike McDaniel? This could be it.
This could get really, really ugly. Really ugly.
Bum. Not that kind of. No. First of all, not the same type of. We're talking about like a nail place, but they also, you can get the you put your feet in like the little the tub deals or whatever. Chill out. Jesus.
I'm sorry, that did make me laugh. He says kidding. Love you guys. Appreciate that.
I know. Appreciate it. All right. Double joint incident. 38-3 Bills. If that happens tonight, I think McDaniel might be gone tomorrow morning. I really do.
Dude, yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how it goes tonight.
Speaking of a coach who got fired, we're going up against the Bears' last coach, Matt Eberflus. For the love of God, can we win this game? Let's talk about it. Please, 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 for the love of God, can the Bears beat Matt Eberflus? The Bears must beat their former head coach, and we're going to tell you how that can happen here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. We've been spamming it all week. Let's not stop now. Get the Beat Flus chants going in the comment section of this video. We got to beat Matt Eberflus. We need to beat Matt Eberflus. Let's get it done on Sunday as the Bears host the Cowboys. As of filming this late on Thursday, so depending on when you're watching this, the line's probably shifted some. It's flipped. It was Bears -1.5. Now it's Cowboys -1.5. I don't know how much of that is just money coming in on Dallas. Jalen Johnson obviously not playing in this game. Injury stuff this week. Vegas is predicting a close game one way or the other. I, for one, predicted 34-31 Bears. I know that's really high scoring, but that might be what it takes for Chicago to win this game. A couple of notes in terms of the preparation from Flus this week. There's been reports that Eberflus has been sitting in on Cowboys offensive meetings this week to offer tips on some of the Bears defensive personnel. Obviously, it's a different scheme with Dennis Allen, but he coached a lot of these guys for at least 1 year, if not multiple years. So that's kind of standard. I'm not surprised by that. Flus obviously knows a lot of these defensive guys very well when it comes to some of the players still playing ball on the Chicago Bears defense. Now, a few of those guys are out, like Jalen Johnson's not playing, Kyler Gordon's likely not playing, TJ Edwards not playing, all that stuff. But 6 starters or expected starters this week that did play under Eberflus: Tyreek Stevenson, Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard, Tremaine Edmonds, Javon Dexter, Montez Sweat. Most of those guys he had for multiple years. Byard was the only one that he had for just the one season. So, yeah, I mean, I would expect Matt Eberflus to offer some input to Brian Schottenheimer and that offensive staff and personnel on some of the tendencies that these defensive players do have. Now, Ben Johnson was asked about that this week. We'll get to that quote in a second. Ben Johnson first was asked about just going up against Matt Eberflus in general and said, make no mistake about it. It was one of the more challenging defense we faced when I was in Detroit. We struggled to run the ball at times. Really good red zone defense. And that was something Flus was always good at. Remember last year, a lot of the time they would just drive straight down, but then he forced a field goal. So that was something that he always did do well here, is clamping down in the red zone. And, it kind of makes sense with that bend, don't break style, clamp down once teams get into scoring range. I kind of did just a deep dive into the Johnson versus Eberflus matchups when Flus was the coach here. So in the first game in 2022, and remember, the Bears roster that year was not great. In week 1, 31 points, or week 10, 31 points, over 300 yards for Detroit. Week 17, just a bloodbath, 41 points, 504 yards for Detroit. 2023, 31 points, 338 yards in Week 11. Week 14, that was the best job Flus and the Bears did. They actually crushed Detroit that week, 28-13. 13 points given up for Eberflus and 267 yards. Really good performance from the Bears defense. And then last year in the two matchups, 23 points, 405 yards. That was the infamous Thanksgiving performance. A little skewed on the points. Remember, the Lions, I think they got stopped on a fourth down in the red zone. They missed a field goal. 400 yards, 23 points doesn't really equate. And then when Flus was gone, so this one can't really hold against them. But 34 points, 475 yards. Wanted to include that one because it's the same defense. You're not changing defenses just because Eberflus wasn't there. So I wanted to compare and contrast because I had the note at the bottom there as well that basically 28.3 points per game allowed in those 6 contests, 385 yards. Well, I compared it to what Detroit averaged in all of their games under Ben Johnson from 2022 to 2024, 28.9 points per game. So basically flat. So yeah, like Eberflus's defense probably performed better than some that Ben Johnson faced, but clearly performed worse than some as well, as it was basically about the same. But there definitely were a couple performances where the Bears matched up well against Detroit defensively. Now, Ben Johnson also added this in terms of, Matt Eberflus knowing Caleb Williams' tendencies as well. He said, we've got guys in the building that know how his mind works too, talking about Eberflus. So we have some information on just schematically how he liked to approach my offense in general and his feelings on Caleb. I feel like we know what he knows and we'll be just fine there. The reality is I'm not sure how much it matters. Obviously, like, Johnson's going to know some schematical things that Eberflus is going to do. Eberflus is going to know some schematical things. Schematical, definitely not a word. that the Bears are going to do, but both are in new situations. Ben Johnson's coaching all new players. Matt Eberflus is coaching all new players. So other than just little tidbits here and there, I'm not sure how much of a difference it makes in the actual outcome. But it's just kind of an interesting chess match that is going to be taking place, especially from a storyline perspective on the outside, which is why we're saying, please, let's beat Matt Eberflus. All right, coming up, I will tell you how the Bears can beat Flus and Dallas in this matchup on Sunday afternoon. But before we do that, I want to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor, Prize Picks. Daily fantasy made easy at prizepicks.com/CLNS. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football is back and better than ever, and I'm firing off Prize Picks lineups every single week. Got an example of a lineup right here, as Prize Picks is offering a max discount for Patrick Mahomes of more than half a passing yard this week. I've made it a 3-player lineup. Caleb Williams more than 218.5 passing yards. Dak Prescott more than 250.5 passing yards. $20 entry to win $105 on this one. That's just one of many examples. 2 to 6 player lineups is what you do on Prize Picks, and you pick more or less on the stat projections. And on certain lineups, you can win up to 2,000 times your money. You can also use the flex play, which Prize Picks invented, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right, how to beat the Flus. Challenge Kaiir Elam. I assume he's going to start again this week, especially with Deron Bland not healthy. I don't think he's going to go. He leads the NFL with 232 passing yards allowed. Now, he started chirping on Twitter saying, these PFF stats, they don't know the context of every play. And look, that's obviously true. PFF, they can only go based on what their interpretation of the play. So it's certainly possible that some of these yards being attributed to him aren't necessarily his fault. Same with Tyreek Stevenson, who's given up a perfect passer rating so far. It's a bit of a skewed stat because he's only given up 7 completions in 2 games, so he's not getting targeted every play all the time. But the reality is Kaiir Elam is not playing that well. That's a guy who's been a career backup, first-round pick with Buffalo, total bust. that's a guy you should take advantage of. Whether it's a one-on-one matchup with DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, if you get him matched up in the slot with somebody, Zacchaeus, Burden, or if Rome or DJ's lining up in the slot. If you get a one-on-one with Kyer Elam, which, again, Flus is going to run a lot of zone, but you should find opportunities to exploit that matchup. And really a lot of matchups in general against that secondary. Trayvon Diggs has been fine, but coming off a couple injury-riddled years, he doesn't seem quite the same player as he was a few years ago. Donovan Wilson's been struggling at safety. I think there's big plays to be had. Now, to be clear, and everybody, especially if Caleb doesn't put up huge numbers, is going to freak out. Russell Wilson threw for 450. Dallas had about 5 coverage busts last week. I would imagine Flus gets that cleaned up, but that doesn't mean there aren't going to be opportunities to generate some explosives in this game. Speaking of this game, subscribe and join us. We will be live at 2 o'clock Central on Sunday ahead of a 3:25 kickoff. So long pregame show getting you ready for the game. And then we'll, of course, have live play-by-play reactions in a postgame show as well. Big game, trying to get the first one of the year. Hopefully you'll join us. All right, number 2, we said it last week. I'm going to keep saying it. You got to find some success on the ground with the running backs. Caleb's had some nice scrambles, especially in week 1, but you got to be able to run the football, man. We've all seen that stat this week that the Bears are first in yards before contact with their running backs. They're like 31st and 32nd in rushing success, depending on the service that's compiling that data. That means that DeAndre Swift, who's gotten the bulk of the carries, is leaving a lot on the table. So whether that means he's got to play better, clearly he does, or if you give other opportunities, Roschon Johnson, Kyle Monungai, some carries, that's what you got to do because you're leaving a lot out there. And Dallas is 23rd in the NFL in rush defense, 121 yards per game allowed. DeAndre Swift, he's just – I said it in the offseason. I think – in a 1-2 punch, if he's one of those two, especially a 2, he offers some things because he catches the ball well. In space, he's a good player. He can hit the home run. But just from a down-to-down perspective, he's not very good in pass pro, and he doesn't hit the hole consistently. He's not going to run over guys. He's not a physical presence. I think you got to give someone else a look. And the first guy I would look at is Kyle Monungai. Short yardage, I would give Roschon Johnson some opportunities. I think in general, you can't just go heavy DeAndre Swift and then just kind of a small mixture of the other guys. I would go Swift and the other guys 50-50 split at least. So we'll see if they do that this week. That's one of my changes I mentioned on our previous video, taking a look at some changes I would make. Number 3, we talked about this on the initial preview video. Keep Caleb Williams clean. When clean in week 2 against Detroit, which is a stat PFF compiles basically not under pressure, whether it's a blitz or just with the opposing team's defensive front, really good. 18 of 25, 199, both his touchdown passes, pass grade of over 90 per PFF, which is excellent. Dallas doesn't have murderer's row pass rush. 4 sacks in 2 games, it's been fine. That's kind of par for the course for Eberflus. He doesn't want to blitz a lot. 26 pressures, kind of middle of the pack. I think this offensive line, which hasn't been up to snuff in terms of what the Bears are paying this group, but I think has been at least better than what it was last year. They should be able to deliver clean pockets, especially when Eberflus isn't blitzing. So I think that's something that if the Bears can do, Caleb should be able to deliver the football. Now, Jadeveon Clowney is now in the mix, and he is expected to play in this game. I'll be curious to see, A, how big of a role he has, and B, if he does make some headway in this game. And if he does, I'm not going to be happy because this is a guy that I would have brought in. But that's neither here nor there, but worth mentioning a new player that's in the mix on the Cowboys defensive front. Okay, number 4, generate explosives. Did you know that the Chicago Bears are tied for 2nd in the NFL in explosive plays with 16? And Twitter being lazy, people were replying to me because I tweeted out that stat. Well, it's easy when you're trailing constantly garbage time. Really? Because they led for the majority of the game in week 1, so that's a fake narrative. And in week 2, anyone that watched the game knows that most of their big plays were in the first half, a.k.a. when the game was still a game. I think 3 of the 16, maybe 4, because I think Monungai had a 10-yard run in garbage time. 3 or 4 of the 16 were in the second half against Detroit, and I think one of them was on the second drive of the second half, so it's not like the game was over. So less than 20% of these 16 explosives have been, quote-unquote, in garbage time. So what does that tell you? Well, Ben Johnson can scheme things up, and the Bears are actually doing some good things offensively if they can eliminate the small things, penalties, etc. Now, big plays are defined, explosives are defined as 10-plus yard runs and 20-plus yard passes. 9 of them are runs. I think 3 or 4 of those are the Caleb scrambles. 7 are passes. So, yeah, let's, DeAndre Swift has ripped off a couple big ones. The problem is on a lot of these other runs, he's not giving you much. But, continue to generate explosives and stop shooting yourself in the foot on these drives, because if you do, chances are you're going to find some more. And I think there's a chance to find some vertically against Dallas's defense, because the Cowboys in their first 2 games have given up 4 catches of 48 or more yards. Now, again, 3 of those 4 were last week against Russell Wilson and the Giants, and a couple of those were just clear busts. So you can't bank on coverage busts, but A, when there is one, you got to take advantage. And B, Dallas' secondary is not playing that well right now. So unless they play a lot better this week, you should find some opportunities down the field. Okay, lastly, utilize the tight ends. Dallas has given up 12 catches to tight ends through 2 weeks. The Bears, despite running the 4th most 2 tight end sets, are not throwing to the tight ends much. And Ben Johnson has explained in week 1, a lot of that was the game plan, using Loveland and Kmet as pass protectors. In week 2, and he even acknowledged this week, I just have to get these guys more involved. That's on me. So I would expect, given the matchup, because the Cowboys linebacker play and safety Donovan Wilson has not been very good this year, that should be an opportunity for Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland to get some work in the middle of the field. And B, they've given up 12 catches. Now, to Dallas's credit, I think it's 12 catches for 80 yards, so they haven't given up a lot of explosives. Again, kind of classic Flus, right? He'll let you dink and dunk, but they're trying to eliminate big plays, even though they did give up some deep in their secondary. But I think this should be a game where between Kmet and Loveland, they have 5 catches combined in 2 games, should at least get 5 catches combined in this game, if not more. All right, there you have it. Some ways to take down the Flus. Predict the score in this one. Bears, Cowboys, America's Game of the Week on Fox. Again, we will be live 2 o'clock Central Time on Sunday. If you're watching this on Sunday, today, 2 o'clock Central Time. And we'll get you ready for kickoff at 3:25. Drop your score predictions. I got the Bears 34-31. All right. All good over there? Is that empty?
Yeah, it's empty. We're all good. Somehow.
Beat the Flus.
Whoa.
Beat the Flus. Beat the Flus.
I'm interested to see what the spread ends up at as we get closer to game time.
I don't think he gets more than 2 points either way.
Yeah. But I'm just saying in terms of who's the favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a notable flip to go from Bears -1.5 to Dallas. I mean, that's a 3-point swing. So I'm guessing a couple big wagers have been placed on Dallas. That's probably part of it. The over-under is set at 50.5 for at least 2 days now. So they're basically saying 26-24, Dallas. So I will say this. One clear advantage they're going to have is when they cross midfield, they're in field goal range. They have a 10-yard advantage in that regard. I mean, that's a big difference. So Brandon Aubrey, guy's beast.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
When he's up for a contract, I mean, is it crazy to say he's worth $10 million a year? I don't think it is.
Justin Tucker, when he, obviously he's dealing with stuff now. His contract when he signed,
I think he made 5, maybe 6. This guy's got a bigger leg, though.
Yes, he does. I mean, it's
he's the only guy I've seen, Colin, that outside of end of half, end of game,
$6 million.
They will try 60-yarders just within the flow of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Other teams, even with kickers with that leg, won't do that because they know if you miss, you're giving the other team the ball at midfield.
Right.
Dallas pretty much will try anything inside 60 within the flow of the game. And end of half, they'll try up to 70.
Right.
I mean, the guy is just, he's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the reality of it, right? You have somebody that's literally
That's a
revolution.
weapon, man.
Yeah, I mean, it literally, it's a weapon.
I mean, and with the new kickoff too, like touchbacks are now the 35, a lot of returns past the 30. Like, you get 2 first downs, you're in field goal range with this guy. It's kind of crazy. All right, we got to get out of here. Great show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back live on Sunday. Plenty of content between now and Sunday. I'll probably do at least one new video this weekend at some point, as Jalen Johnson is going to be placed on IR, I assume, at some point. My guess is Tano Passanio, who's already used 2 of his 3 eligible game day activations. They just put him on the 53. He's been much more productive than Dominic Robinson, and I don't even think they've been playing Daniel Hardy on defense. So he's kind of been your 3rd edge rusher. I would expect him to be placed on the 53. Also keep an eye on a practice squad corner to be elevated for game day as well. We'll have all that covered for you guys this weekend. So appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're going to get out of here. Shout out to Cullen for producing. Shout out to the chat. I see Prometheus, Chris, Tim, Henry, Mike D, Ancient, Lacora, Dude, Denny. You guys are the best. Ducey in there as well. Vincent, Robert Sellers. We're going to get out of here. We will see you guys soon. Bear down.